I have decided that I'm going to do a reaction to this video because much as it was meant to be some kind of comedy, it's still actually based on truth, and that's one of the things about comedians. Generally, they take what's happening in real life. It could be a source of something that could have happened then that caused them pain. They try to bring the funny side of it. But this young man here was speaking some very powerful truths, and he was talking to his peers, young people, and it was basically just giving them a very clear warning about the fact that what they were going to get in school if they chose to go through this traditional school system, especially university education, would often not be enough, and that they needed to get some skill while still in school, so that by the time they finish school they will have something doing. So this is something I've been preaching for a long time. I downloaded this video I think over a year ago. I just never bothered until now, because I keep seeing a lot of stuff where people are saying the same thing now, but it's like a lot of the young people are still not listening, or their parents are not listening, or both. So I want to just react to what the gentleman said here. So I'm going to play it, and at different points I'm going to stop to make a few comments. Hopefully the comical nature of the delivery, much as it is maybe entertaining, will also be very educative, and people will take the full message and then act on it. All right, because ultimately we need people to come out into the real world after being in school, ready to solve problems. All right, and we're not having that right now. This young man really captures it all with what he said. I want you to
of the greatest Nigerian go-go, who na listening.
Okay.
Most of the lectures and courses that they teach in Nigerian tertiary institutions are so useless.
What?
No impact, no direction, and no relevance in the labor market.
You were not informed too?
You see, this copy and paste
Photo.
education that we are doing in this country is not helping our youth.
We must learn.
Advanced countries with advanced economies developed lectures to meet economic demands. And we, with our epileptic economy, we want to go and borrow those courses to teach students, knowing fully well that the labor market has nothing for them.
There is God.
I asked one Nigerian student from the East here what he's studying in school, and he told me he's studying archaeology. And I'm like, what?
We don't know why it's going on.
Alright, so let me just quickly respond to that before we go to the next point he's about to make. Archaeology, I mean, for God's sake, this is Nigeria. We don't even have historical records. To go into archaeology as a field of study and then come out into the real world of Nigerian society, where are you going to get yourself engaged on any basis that will require payment to you to be made? Even if you are going to become a lecturer, where are the schools that teach archaeology? How many schools teach it? And if they teach it, what do they offer? How would you be able to qualify to become a lecturer in such an institution? Because it's not exactly a course in high demand that you have students killing themselves to get it. But some universities are offering it. Some people are teaching it, some people are studying it, just to be able to say they went to university. It's a madness that needs to stop. But of course, I can't stop anybody. However, if somebody is trying to make up his mind and somebody is saying, just get in, just study something, this was what I was told. Oh, just get in, just get admission, then we can always change it. It's like a kind of, it's almost like you are just being pushed into a hole, but you don't know it and you are happy about it. Then when you get into the hole, you discover that okay, you don't have no choice. Now you are in the hole, you also have to find a way out, and you are forced to go through the system. But actually, you know already that you are in trouble, because by the time you finish, you realize that there's nothing out there waiting for you. Archaeology, who's going to employ you in Nigeria? And then what are the chances that having studied archaeology in Nigeria, you get a job or get invited abroad to come and do archaeology? Very slim, because those ones will do a better job of training the people that they want to employ. So that's the point. The fact that the guidance and counseling is literally non-existent. Career counseling is zero. You are just on your own. It's a serious problem, but we're taking it very lightly. People continue to come out with all these pieces of paper saying they went to university. Many of them don't even study anymore. They come out completely clueless about even what they claim to have studied. That's how bad it is. But let's go on.
How many public libraries and research centers are still working in this country? But every year, thousands of students go into Nigerian schools to study library science. What are they going to do with it?
This man.
And the first sign that you're studying a useless course is when they ask you, where will you work when you graduate? And you are like, you can work anywhere. Okay, anywhere, don't be addressed. Hello?
Man, know thyself. You don't know your friend.
We are a country that have refused to industrialize. We import everything, including toothpick. Yet, every tertiary institution has faculty of engineering. What type of engineers are we producing?
This is the one that actually made me decide to do this reaction, because I just shared I'm going to try and see if I can insert it at the end of this video, the clip of, I'll just insert a preview of it and then I'll put a link in the description. It's a Punch interview. The gentleman is in one of the northern states and he's supposed to be it was reported by Punch to be a university dropout who's actually producing electric cars, electric vehicles. Started with electric tricycles, now he's moved to minibuses. And I listened to his interview on Punch. I watched the whole video just before I started this one, and he was saying that he looked at the need to solve problems in society, and he knew that one of the problems we had was the fact that the high cost of electricity, high cost of what's it called, petrol, diesel generally. So to power your car you need diesel, you need petrol, and he knew that it was high cost. That's why he shifted to solar powered electric vehicles. And beautiful thing, right on the roof of the buses, he has the solar panels. He's mapped it in there, just inserted into the top of the bus, so it receives direct rays of the sun, and then he's connected of course to the batteries. And he's doing a good job of it, because according to him the trials done a year ago have worked out well, and that's why they're actually just launching out now fully. And that's how Punch Newspaper got to hear about him, because this is according to him, it's the first time it's been done in Nigeria. Now this is a guy that dropped out from university. What happened to the guys that went to university and completed the courses they were in there for? What happened to all our professors? How come they're not the ones leading the way in this and training their students to do it? So something's not right about the education system, but people still don't want to listen. The ego trip is what everybody wants to go on. My child went to university. It doesn't matter how useless the so-called university he went to is, how useless the so-called course he or she has studied is. They just want to say my child also went to university. It's an ego trip. Keeping up with the Joneses. What's his name? Gary Vaynerchuk has talked about it in his viral video. I've referred to it several times. I've done a review of that video by way of a reaction. And yet, much as we say all these things, much as more and more Nigerians are posting videos that reinforce this reality that the traditional school system is more or less useless today for the most part, yet people still continue to push their kids through it. Well, at least this is a young person saying it, and he's talking to his fellow youths and saying, look, go ahead and go into the schools, but please get a skill, so that while you are trying to think of find a place for your certificate-based university degree-based education, you at least have something that can help you keep body and soul together. Let's listen to him.
We only have theoretical engineers with no place for practical practice.
For what? Why?
The only studying engineering in this country is like punishment. The only thing you do is to be dissecting complex formulas, carrying big textbooks as big as dictionary, engine maths. And when you suffer this thing for 5 years, you find yourself in public or private schools teaching physics and collecting 15,000 naira in a month.
God should descend.
I remember going for one biology practical like that. A lab that was built to contain 500 students, but we are more than 3,000.
Jesus!
You'll be drawing something on table. Somebody is drawing on your back. If you want to stretch your back, and a slab go follow him. Okay, keep your back one place. You have mistaken me.
Look at you.
I think it is high time we bring in entrepreneurship and digital skill management as part of the courses to get certificates in tertiary institutions, rather than these courses that are creating more problems rather than solutions.
You think so? They wise?
I'm not saying this thing to discourage you from reading. No, study. Even the Bible says you should study to show yourself approved.
Yes.
School fee be scam, but the result is still very vital. But when your school is in section, read to get good results. But during your holiday, go and acquire skill. Whether it is digital skill or craft, something you can do with your hand. So that by the time you graduate, you have your certificate with one hand and your skill with the other hand.
I mean, basically that's really what the ultimate message is, and should continue to be, so that as many as people as possible will listen and learn. What he said here is just practical wisdom. I do not know who you are listening to me now. I don't know if you are a parent or you are a young person trying to decide how you're going to pursue your education or where you're going to go next after you completed your education. But understand, the world today does not respect pieces of paper anymore. You need to get a skill. You need to know how to do something that is useful to other people, not just being able to show that you finish some academic exercise. It's no longer the same thing. People you are not going to find anybody willing to pay you because you brought a piece of paper. In fact, these days people are buying those pieces of paper. They don't even study university anymore. They just go and pay to get it. So you need to something to set yourself apart from the crowd. And what this young man has said here is what you need to do. Get a skill. Don't even wait till it's public holiday, or sorry, it's holiday time. Do it now while you're in school. Start doing it now, every day. Come close from school, go and do it. Some people are like that. They don't have parents. They work all day. They work every day. When they finish from school, they go back to work. Their apprentices and all that, working for people. They cannot say they want to rest so much, because they know that in order to be able to survive till the next day and the next day and the next day, they need to have something to feed themselves. So they have to work. Some people are working to send themselves to school. So all this issue of waiting till the holidays, no, don't wait till the holidays. Start now, if you love yourself.
So that you can use your skill and survive until God decides to blow your whistle. But if you think that it is just that you go to school, I go to school, I be graduate, I go to or go and break up.
Hey!
My friend from UK told me that when he left school, that companies where he did not apply for jobs, we are calling him for interview.
Oh my God!
Banks where he did not apply for loans, we are calling him to come and take loans. This is a country that knows your details. They know when you enter school and when you are coming out. And they know the type of companies that should need your services. They have already sent your details to them.
Really?
I now put myself in his shoes when I graduated in this country. I find work, even work, see me, run. I walk out from office to office, to the point, Shuma down for. Yeah! Get the country
No.
And so, basically, there's nothing else to be said. What this young man has said is the reality for many young people today. The thing is, we've been so indoctrinated by society that we don't even know that we should speak out and announce the fact that we discovered that the education we were given was a scam. I said it in my previous video, I'm saying it again. That's why I'm doing this series. I'm deliberately focusing on it. The system is so bad now, with all the technology that's available. It's making students even more aware of the fact that the system they have been put through is actually not something that they need to stress themselves for, because technology makes it possible now to cheat through this entire system. The video in which Sonny Badu was talking about the fact that this new generation does not want to suffer to succeed is a typical example of it. They are a product of the current system, where technology makes it possible to go through the academic system without actually investing any effort to learn anything concrete. We need to move people from that mindset of book-based learning to the mindset of hands-on skills acquisition. I do not know what your own plan is, but I'm telling you that you need to, if your plan is not to acquire a skill, you need to rethink that plan, because it might hurt you badly if you go out into the labor market without any real world relevant problem solving skills. That is the only way you can make an impact in this world. You must be able to add value to other people, otherwise you will not get the money you need to survive. I hope you understand this, and I hope you will take this advice to heart.